And as much as news reports or social media can help, first-hand story accounts really matter.
They do.
That's right.
Absolutely.
Story lives matter. The problem is the CCP does everything it can to limit the dissemination of information, including creepy-ass warning signs. Do not post pandemic-related messages online. Do not enter or leave Beijing without permission. Spies are among us. Leaks may happen in an instant. Watch your own mouth or face punishment. That's very nice, right?
Watch your mouth.
Dude, it's disgusting. Yeah. And so we are extremely lucky to have on our guest, calling in from Shanghai, who, for obvious reasons, can't be named. Do we have the Mug Club member from Shanghai joining us now? Hello?
Hello.
Hey.
How are you doing there?
I'm good. How about you?
Hey, I'm doing fantastic.
I would imagine. Yeah, I figured you didn't have anywhere to be.
Yeah, a little bit.
So, can you give us a picture of what it's like in Shanghai right now? Like, is it better or worse than the media is showing?
Well, okay. So I'm fairly privileged, and I'm in a neighbourhood with a lot of expats. So we're kind of doing a lot better than a lot of the lower socioeconomic Chinese at the moment. So we're able to get a little bit of food delivered every few days. A little bit of fruit, a little bit of vegetables. We can hunt online to find out who has some food and find someone who's able to deliver, who has the very special pass, who's allowed to be on the road, and pay them an exorbitant amount of money to actually get the food delivered. And so, but it's just what is actually available is very, very sporadic. Yeah.
I mean, I guess if you're getting a little bit of food, you probably weren't that prepared. Like, was there any notice given to even want to prepare for anything?
It was really, really quick. The total lockdown was really quick. It was kind of announced that it was going to be happening in like a day, and it was supposed to be for 4 days. So we got together enough for about 6 days, and now we're 2.5 weeks in.
Jeez.
So. Yeah.
Wow. Well, the good news is 14 days only turned into 2.5 years, so we have that going for us.
Absolutely.
So we're good. When they announced that, did you see everybody running out to panic buy, or were people by and large believing that the government was going to take care of them through whatever period of time that this was going to be?
So everyone started buying as much as they could, but most of the shops had already kind of closed down because in our neighbourhood we'd already been told, before the lockdown, we had already kind of been in a stay-at-home, don't go to work phase. So we'd already been work had been shut down, but we hadn't been locked in our apartment. So the local neighbourhood shops were already, and restaurants were already closed, so we couldn't get deliveries. Most of us here don't have cars, and so we rely on deliveries. I've got an electric scooter, and we go to the shop and we shop for a couple of bags of groceries at a time, and so that's it. So you get delivery, but now it's it's whatever you can scrounge around. To what you eat, really.
Yeah, I didn't know that the stores had been closed down prior to that, so that makes it even worse. I mean, it sounds like horrifically bad. I know you're in a little bit better part of town. How do you think people are? Do you have any information on how people are faring in maybe areas that are a little bit tougher, maybe a little less?
Yeah, the videos we've seen kind of accurate that you know of with the suicides and that sort of thing, to be blunt.
It's tough. It's really bad. I can just pray for them and pray that the lockdowns are lifted soon. We're hearing that some neighbourhoods that have got no cases in the last 5 days are starting to be lifted, that they can actually go out for essentials from their neighbourhoods. And the neighbourhoods are very small, by the way. So
to the closed
each neighbourhood
stores?
is very small.
Right.
Exactly. That's the problem. The stores are all closed, and the ones that even are allowed to be open have no stock because there haven't been any deliveries from trucks and things like that. We were able to, just before the big lockdown happened, we were, a group of friends of mine, able to order a delivery from Costco. There is a Costco here now, and there was very limited deliveries available because the shelves are empty.
Yeah, well, if you guys had bought something other than ketchup and mustard, that would have been a great idea. But you have a lot of that.
They do. Well, that's all that matters. They have toilet paper.
Condiments. Works with everything.
Do you have? Do you think there's like an end in sight? Do you actually see this as coming to an end? There, like, do you have like a little bit of hope? I mean, maybe that's an odd question.
It has to, right? It has to, because I mean they've closed the Shanghai port, they've closed the Shanghai Stock Exchange. I mean, everything's closed. They are losing billions of dollars a day, and at this stage, it's just saving face, and which is a very Chinese thing to do. They have to save face, and it's they put this is their policy, zero COVID. So and they can't be seen to back down from that because that would be losing face. But they are losing so much money and also losing face in the world that they can't deliver on all the products that everyone are needing in the world. But it's just, I mean, they've done everything. We've been doing 2 COVID tests a day for most of this week, having to. And it's just, people are literally starving. I mean, we got a delivery of bacon and sausages the other day, and eggs, and so we've pretty much been eating eggs and bacon and sausages for most meals. And then I've got a half a jar of peanut butter and some old soggy graham crackers that we found at the back of the pantry, and so we've been eating that for a while. But I've got 2 kids as well, and we have to do online school as well, doing that at the same time. And it's fun and games.
Are you worried about your kids with the policies? I mean, obviously you are, but I mean, what is the scariest aspect of that? I mean, I don't mean to ask that personally, but you mentioned having them.
Yeah, so the biggest worry, especially in the early days, were if a kid turned up positive and the parents weren't, the child was taken from the parents and put into these quarantine camps, and without the parents and without an advocate. And and no one in these camps, these quarantine facilities, whatever you want to call them, speaks English. And I mean, to be perfectly honest, my kids speak Chinese better than I do, but still nowhere near fluently. And that's, I mean, that's just not going to happen. That's that's the time when we get the guys to go down to the square and get tanked.
Right.
So you don't take my kids from me, and that's when things are going to get, that's the line.
Watch Louder with Crowder live, Monday through Thursday, 10 a.m. Eastern.